What's up, addicts? Okay, so week 1 is in the books, and we know nothing. So this is the time of the year that everybody likes to completely freak out and tilt, and even I did a little bit of that this weekend, but come back, get a level head. Don't freak out. If your team sucked week 1, just wait. If they didn't get hurt, then there's a good chance that they're going to rebound in week 2. And if your team absolutely blew up in week 1, you better start trading because it's not going to happen 2 weeks in a row. Anyway, that's as an aside. This video is my waiver wire tips for who you need to target for this week. The goal of these waiver wire videos is to keep them as short as possible. I'm not going to go into a lot of details or talk about why I think some of these players are good values or why you should be spending them. I'm going to try to go as very brief and as quickly as I can because I know you guys have a lot of other things you're doing and a lot of other things you're spending your time on, so I want to make this as quick and easy as possible so you guys can listen to this and then go choose who you want to pick up from your waiver wire. So I rank them out in tiers, and the tiers basically dictate how much I think that you should spend on each player. So I'll go through each tier. We don't have anyone in tier 1. Tier 1 is someone that you have to acquire, doesn't matter how much you have to spend on them. So we don't have any of those guys this week. Tier 2, potential season changers, players that could vastly outproduce where you would have gotten them in the draft. I have no quarterbacks, running backs, or tight ends, but I do have 2 receivers, and there's a good chance that these guys aren't on your waiver wire, but if they are, spend at least 25 to 50% trying to get them. Tyler Lockett and Kenny Golladay. Both of these guys were used heavily by their teams, and with Doug Baldwin being hurt, Tyler Lockett is basically going to be a wide receiver 1, and Kenny Golladay looks like he is going to be one of the most utilized receivers in that passing game. I get it if, with Golden Tate and Marvin Jones still there, Kenny Golladay is probably not as important that you pick up as Tyler Lockett, but both those guys have huge upside potential. All right, we're going to go a little bit quickly now. So tier 3, I have 2 running backs, TJ Yeldon and Philip Lindsay. These are guys that I'd spend between 12 to 24% on based on your need. If you're in dire need of a running back, spend a little bit more. If you're not, you don't have to spend as much. Totally up to you, but that's where I'm ranking them at. With Fournette getting hurt, but it's looking like it's minor. We don't know how much value Yeldon will hold, and Philip Lindsay looked really good for Denver, but he's still very much so in a committee. Wide receivers, John Brown, Chris Godwin, Geronimo Allison, and Quincy Enunwa. All these guys showed really well over week 1. I don't know that they'll be able to continue that every week, but they're guys that have high upside and could potentially be a good flex play for you. Tier 4 is, definitely flex options, people you shift in and off your bench. 2 running backs, I got Jordan Wilkins for the Indianapolis Colts and Austin Eckler for the Los Angeles Chargers. Again, both these guys are in committees, and Eckler is basically just a really good handcuff, but he could really change your season if Melvin Gordon got hurt. Wide receivers, I have D.D. Westbrook, Ryan Grant for the Colts. I have John Ross for the Bengals, Ted Ginn Jr. for the Saints, and Cole Beasley for the Dallas Cowboys. Looks like he's the only receiver that Dak Prescott trusts right now. And then first tight end on the list, we have Eric Ebron. He could become one of Andrew Luck's favorite targets in the red zone. Okay, tier 5, I'm sorry, I didn't mention, for tier 4, I would spend about 6 to 10% if you need any guys from these positions. Tier 5, people I'd spend about 3 to 5%. Quarterbacks, just going to list them real quick: Case Keenum, Andy Dalton, Joe Flacco, Eli Manning, and Ryan Fitzpatrick. Keep in mind, we don't know how long Fitzpatrick will start, but if he plays like he did on Sunday, it looks like Jameis Winston is not going to be playing anytime soon. Running backs, I have Nyheim Hines, Javorius Allen, and CJ Anderson. All those guys are people I'd throw like a $5 to $10 bid at. Wide receivers, Philip Dorsett, Deshaun Jackson, Mike Wallace, and Mohamed Sanu. And then tight ends, Jared Cook, Jonnu Smith, Benjamin Watson, and Will Dissly for the Seattle Seahawks. A quick note on Jared Cook. I know he absolutely blew up on week 1 against the Rams, but that's what Jared Cook does. He always blows up in week 1, and then he never does anything for the rest of the year. So I'm not buying it. I don't want to waste a lot of my money on him. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I'm willing to be wrong on Jared Cook because he's fooled us so many times before. And, it's highly likely that they just used him in a role because with Marcus Peters and Aqib Talib basically shutting Jordy Nelson and Amari Cooper down, he was their only option. So that's not going to happen every week. I don't think Jared Cook does even close to what he did on Monday night ever again this season. But hey, if you want to take a shot, then I probably wouldn't spend more than $10. Okay, last tier. These are just deep league stashes. If you have a deeper league and you just want to throw someone on your bench that maybe you could do something later, I have a few guys. So quarterbacks, Blake Bortles, Sam Darnold looked okay tonight. He could come into his own. And then Baker Mayfield, Tyrod Taylor just did not look good on Sunday. And it's likely that Baker will get the start at some point in the season. Running backs, Chase Edmonds, Rod Smith, Darren Sproles, and Frank Gore. Those guys are all people I'd spend $0 or $1 on if I have a deep enough league. Wide receiver, Cortland Sutton and Bruce Ellington for the Texans. And then 2 tight ends, I have Ian Thomas and Vance McDonald. So Ian Thomas is the backup tight end for Greg Olsen. It's looking like Greg Olsen is going to miss some significant time. So we don't know yet whether he'll actually have a decent role in the offense with the Carolina Panthers. But if he's out there and you need a tight end, maybe just throw a $0 bid on him and see what happens. Vance McDonald, also the tight end for the Steelers. He's going to come back pretty soon from injury. He's been out all preseason, but Steelers offense is still going to be good, and he could be pretty valuable. Anyway, like I said, I'm just trying to keep these videos as short as possible so that way you guys don't have to spend a lot of time watching them and figuring out who to draft. But if you guys don't even want to watch the video, I do put these waivers into a condensed PDF form for you, and I can email those to you guys every week if you give me your email. So if you click the link in the description box, you can sign up for my email list, and I will send you guys weekly waiver wire updates. My goal is to get them sent out after the game on Monday night, so that way you guys have the entire day Tuesday to get your waivers in if your waivers drop the following day. But anyway, I hope you guys found this useful. If you guys have questions or you want me to go into any more detail, feel free to comment below. I can comment back with some more thoughts. Anyway, I hope you guys have a good night. Again, don't tilt, don't freak out, and just trade your team away. If you had a bad week 1, just be patient. As long as you guys aren't, injured for the season, then just calm down. Week 2 is always different than week 1. Anyway, hope you guys have a good one. Peace.